All right. Well, hey, episode 11.
11 already?
We're slamming, baby.
Nice.
We actually are still in the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about briefly
Okay.
today, and then we're going to bring our whiteboard in here in a second. And
So the last few episodes, we talk about the immune system, and we talk about there's two components to the immune system. We touch base on the gut and the brain, and we talk a little bit about the adrenals and the thyroid. So today I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the adrenals and the thyroid connection. Because 99% of what we do in the office is to deal with people having adrenal fatigue.
whoa.
Okay. What is adrenal fatigue at the end of the day, right? People say,
Tired.
oh, I have adrenal fatigue.
I have no energy. I'm pooped.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So it comes down to adrenal stress. Why the adrenals are stressed, and it reflects as a fatigue, a tiredness.
Which is what's so great about Dr. Serge and what he does with functional medicine. We're not putting Band-Aids on this, guys.
Oh, we are not.
We are going to the problem, and we are solving this problem through nutrition.
Correct.
It's done. Let your body heal itself like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Through
Yeah.
supplementation and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So
So there's a lot we can say about this, and this is what we're going to cover today.
excellent. Well, let's
Okay.
get the whiteboard up.
Let's get the whiteboard. I'm excited.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right, so we're back. We got our whiteboard, and Dr. S is going to show us a little things about the adrenaline,
Adrenals and thyroid.
thyroid and adrenaline.
Correct.
This is a great subject because I have some family members that have slow thyroids and stuff, so I'm very fascinated
Yes.
by this.
Actually, I wanted to start by giving an example, a typical case that we see in the office. Usually a woman would come, they have typical symptoms of hypothyroidism, okay, which is low thyroid function. Weight gain, cannot sleep, tired, hair loss, nails are brittle, And they go to see the medical doctor, they do some blood work, and everything comes back normal. Your thyroid is fine, but she still have thyroid symptoms. So what's going on? Okay, so let's cover that. I see that all the time.
Thank gosh
the
for
time.
functional medicine.
Yes, because they really miss a lot when they do blood work. First of all, they don't look at all the thyroid panels. There's many hormones we need to look at. Typically, they look at one component of the picture, and if that component is fine, you're fine. You don't have thyroid problems.
They don't care.
They
They don't
know.
care either.
They look at the numbers, but they don't look at the patient's symptoms.
That's what's so great about coming to Dr. Serge and Mind and Body Solutions. He cares.
Our goal is to
He
get you
has
well.
to care. He has to
Yes.
care because you got to fix him.
Correct.
So you have to care.
We have to, and we have to do our best to help you.
That's right.
So we're going to cover this axis, I call it, the thyroid and adrenals, because to me, this is the key to health. If you're having some issues, dealing with some problems, most likely this axis is off, which impacts everything in the body. Okay? Let's start by talking about the adrenals and the thyroid.
Good.
Okay, so I'm going to draw a little bit on this board. Okay, so the thyroid is a small gland that we have at the base of your throat. Okay, it has a butterfly kind of shape, and then you have the throat, of course. So the thyroid makes two hormones that are really important. Okay, it makes the T4. Okay, and the T4 is converted to T3. Okay. T4 is the hormone that is inactive. It doesn't really do much in the body. The body needs to transform the T4 into T3. This is the T3, this is the active hormone that will give you energy and helps you digest and helps your hormone and so on and so on. So this is really the key. So one mistake that doctors do is when you have a hypothyroidism, they typically give you T4 as a pill.
Huh.
Okay, so people who take thyroid medication like Armour, levothyroxine, Centroid, it's T4.
Right.
Okay,
You briefly touched on that last week. I
we
remember.
did, and they do that because it's much easier to control and regulate the T4 with blood work. T4, T3 is really hard to regulate and normalize with blood work, and it's really easy to have symptoms and side effects on T3. Okay, so the problem with this is they never look at this step. If actually the body can convert the T4 into the T3, You can take the T4, but what happens if your body is not able to make this change?
What does the T stand for in T4?
Thyroxine.
Thyroid, okay.
Okay, it's
Gotcha.
the hormones.
Gotcha.
4 stands for 4 iodines. Okay, because we know that the thyroid needs iodine,
I
right?
know that word.
Exactly,
I take it.
iodine.
I take it.
Exactly, iodine from seafoods. Okay, salt.
Mhm.
Okay, and T3. This means there's 3 iodines.
Cool.
Okay, this is the active form that we have to look at, and typically blood work don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they typically look at TSH, which come from the brain. We talked about that last week.
Right.
So the brain makes TSH. TSH tells the thyroid to make T4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this step typically is the liver, for example. Okay, the liver will convert the T4 into T3.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the TSH, this is the hormone that doctors check all the time. If your TSH is normal, they conclude your thyroid is fine.
Huh.
But as you can see, TSH is not to look at thyroid function. It's to look at the brain function.
Wow.
Okay, so this is a big mistake, and I see that all the time with
All the
people.
time.
All the time. So the key step is to look at this convergence, because I see a lot of people taking T4 medications, but they still have symptoms.
Right.
It's because the body is not transforming this into T3.
Got a family member that's in all this. Yeah, has this problem.
Exactly. I see that all the time. The problem is if you take T4, this is a we call it a negative feedback loop. So it loops back to the thyroid to shut it down. So over time, when you take T4, it's a vicious cycle. Your thyroid goes even lower. That's why over time, people, they have to up their medications.
Gosh.
So they get stuck in that vicious cycle. And at some point, they really depend on T4 because the thyroid is no
And
longer
then you
working.
have all the side effects and the medication.
Correct.
Because obviously, we know, in functional medicine,
Correct.
we are not about chemicals. We're not about taking any kind of chemicals for the body.
Yeah.
This is all done through nutrition and having your body heal itself.
Correct.
And you have to have a doctor. This is the good part. This is a good part about what we're doing here is we're having a doctor explain things a little bit more in detail, whether you following it or not. And this is where what we were just brushing on earlier on is people with the egos that think they know everything that they're talking about. You don't know. It's impossible for you to know. You wouldn't, anyways. I can keep going on and on.
Exactly. They don't know because they don't know what to research and what to look for.
Right.
Okay.
It's impossible.
And this is our goal.
You went to 15 years of school to learn this,
That's what I do for a living, and that's why I'm really passionate about it. And this is what we need to look at. This is the thyroid. This is the first component of this axis. Okay? And then we have to talk about the adrenals. Okay? Adrenals are small glands we have at the back of your kidneys. Okay? So you have the big kidneys on the back. And the adrenals sit on your kidneys, small, tiny glands. Okay. Adrenals, they are like avocados. They have 2 components. You have a pit, like the middle, the flesh,
Yes.
okay, and the peel. Okay. In this case, for the adrenals, the peel is a fat. It's a fat layer to protect the adrenals from stress. If you hit the adrenals, the fat would protect the adrenals.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. And the inside or the middle part of the adrenals, this is where they make hormones.
Okay.
Adrenals makes 150 hormones.
150 hormones.
Correct. So adrenals make a lot of the different hormones. And to me, this is the key to health. Most people who have health issues, we can connect their health issues to adrenal functions.
Wow.
Adrenals regulate your blood sugar, your sex hormone, okay, estrogen, progesterone, okay, they regulate digestion. It helps your body to make melatonin to sleep at night, okay. But more importantly, the adrenals regulate this fight or flight reaction. We talk about that,
Yes.
right? So stress hormone, okay, the adrenals make stress hormone. When you have stress in your body or stress in your life, your body will start making more stress hormones.
Right.
And the interesting part of this is the stress hormone, what it does, it goes to inhibit this conversion. Okay, stress hormone prevent the conversion of T4 into T3. This is what I see all the time in women.
So you're saying the stress is creating the overall fatigue.
Correct.
Right.
Okay, because it shut down this conversion. It shut down the thyroid. That's why people have thyroid symptoms. But the actual reason is the adrenals. Okay?
Wow.
And doctors don't measure the stress hormone in the blood because it doesn't really, it's not really specific. When you do blood work, you have to do spit tests or the saliva test. You have to check your saliva to check how much there is stress hormones. And I see this to be off all the time.
All the time.
Which affects your thyroid. That's why most women have thyroid symptoms. The thyroid is okay, but it comes down to be an adrenal deficiency.
Amazing.
Okay?
Amazing.
Then we need to figure out, okay, what's going on with the adrenals? What we need to do to help those adrenals? Okay, we know they are stressed from life, from job, from bad food, so on and so on. So what we need to do is to figure out, nutrition speaking, okay, what we need to do with nutrition. Okay, so nutrition, there's a few factors, right? We talk about it. What is that word?
Sugar.
Sugar. Sugar is known to increase stress hormone in the body, shutting down the thyroid.
The evil.
The evil. So we really have to cut this out.
Woo!
Cut sugar out. This is just the enemy.
Boy.
Okay, it affects your gut, immune system, your brain, everything. Okay? And then we need to look at other foods like wheat.
Gluten.
Okay, wheat, gluten, which is the same thing more or less as sugar. The body processes wheat same way as sugar, having the same side effect. It can stress your adrenals, leading to this issue. Okay, these are the main components. And then we have to look at what we need to do to nourish your adrenals. Good food. What are the good foods of the adrenals? Okay. Vitamin B is the key vitamin for the adrenals. Okay. Vitamin complex or B vitamins are the vitamins the most sold today in the States.
Cataplex.
Okay.
Right?
Cataplex B is the best.
Cataplex B.
Correct. Yeah. We're going to get back to that. So a lot of people get B vitamins from the store. But I have a few issues, as you may suspect, about this.
Well, when I first met you, that's the very first thing I brought you. I said,
this
hey,
is the very first thing
I wanted to get more energy. I wanted to, blah, 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 blah. Didn't even talk about nutrition. Just give me some vitamin B so I can have more energy. Well, what do you, I can't even imagine your job, but keep going.
So you had a really good point here. So a lot of people are looking for energy today. That's why we are talking about the adrenals, adrenal fatigue. Okay, they are looking for coffee or Red Bulls or any kind of energy drink, right? Typically, those drinks have a lot of sugar.
Loaded.
They may have energy initially from the caffeine, but the sugar over time will affect your adrenals. So
right.
you really get stuck into that vicious
cycle.
Okay? So those B vitamins, I have an issue with them for two reasons. One, they are fake. Okay, it's not the real stuff. They are not food-based. And the other component of why I don't like them is they don't have the full spectrum B vitamins.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that B vitamins, we have 24.
24.
Okay. And those supplements that you get, the one you brought me when you started.
The sublingual B complex from Walgreens,
It was, I believe,
or Walmart
6
or something.
or 7 components. So
right.
They don't have the full spectrum. Typically, they have B1, B2, B3, B6, B7, B9,
that's
B12.
about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
They don't have the B4, they don't have the B8, the B19, the B16, and so on and so on.
There's 24 different Bs.
Correct. Which brings me to my next point is, what is the best food source of B?